Hello guys and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are going to cover conditional statements in JavaScript. We are going to look what are conditional statements, how do you come up with the conditional statement, and practical use of these conditional statements. What are conditional statements first of all? Conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on a certain condition. An action in this case can be login or continue to the next page of an application. A condition can be filling out the required details in that particular form. In JavaScript, we have several conditions. We have lots of conditions, but we are going to look at the main three conditional statements in JavaScript. We have the if, the else, and the else if statements. In the if statement is used to specify a block of code to be executed if a certain condition or if a specified condition is true. For an example of this certain condition is if your password is correct, then that's true statement. Then go to the next page or produce certain statement. Else statement is used to specify a block of code to be executed if a certain condition evaluates to false. An else statement in real world use can be if a password is wrong, produce an error and show that error as an output. Then we have our third conditional statement, that is the if else if statement is used to specify a new condition to be tested according to the first condition if it's false or it's true. We can start with the if statement, but we can look at a flow diagram here. In this diagram, we have our input field here or our input. In our input, we are going to look at a certain condition here. If that condition is false, then terminates and then produces the required error or does not produce anything. Then if the block of code is true, then executes and prints out the required results. We can look at the syntax of this writing this if statement here. This is the syntax. You start with the if keyword. Then you evaluate your condition here. And if that statement is true, then execute and print out the required or the desired results. We can look at a certain example here. In this example, we have defined our variable age. Then this variable age we have assigned 16. Then if we check our condition here, if our age is less than 18, then print out not allowed to vote. And our output will be basically not allowed to vote because our certain condition here is not met. Our age that we have defined here or we have assigned here is less than 18 years old. That's it in the if statement. Evaluates to true if prints out or executes that block of code if this certain condition is true. What if this certain condition is false? The program terminates and produces no output. We can check at our second else statement. In our else statement, we can see that else statements depends on the if statement, or else statement is combined with the if statement then to produce the required results. Then in our if statement, if the condition is true, then the if block is executed. Otherwise, the else block is executed. In this case, we have two outputs. Either if the program evaluates to true or the condition evaluates to true, print the if block. Then else, if the statement evaluates to false or the block of code evaluates to false, then print out the else block. We can check at our certain flow diagram here. In our flow diagram, we have our input here where we check our condition here. Then if the condition is false, then produce the else block and print out the output. And if the condition evaluates to true, then print out the required or the desired results. Then we can look at our if else syntax here. We have our input here where we have our condition that we are evaluating, and if that condition is true, then produce this block of code or execute this block of code. Else, because this block of code or this condition here is false, produce this or execute this block of code here. In real life example here, we can define our variable that is age of 16, and then that age of 16, we are going to check our condition here. If the age again is less than 16, produce not allowed to vote. Else means that the age is above 18 years old, our condition here, then produce this desired output. Then our output here in our case will be not allowed to vote, because our condition here evaluates to false, evaluates to true, sorry, because our age is less than 18. What if this age was above 18? It will produce you are allowed to vote, and then the program terminates. We can check at our final else if statement, and we saw that in our else if statement is a statement to specify a condition if the first condition is false. This means the first condition is false. If the first condition is false, then go to the next step and check the second condition, evaluate. If the second condition is false, go to the third condition all the way to the final condition. In our flow diagram here, we can check at our first input here. If our condition here is false, then go and terminate that project or that program. If evaluates the first condition is false, then go to the next condition, evaluate, and print out the desired results. If that condition is false or true, print out whatever is required here. Then if the second condition evaluates and does not return the required results, then go check the final condition here and then print out the results. If you had so many conditions, just go the first condition, check the second, third, up to the desired or the required results. We can check at our else if syntax here. We can see we have our input here, which we have condition 1. Then if that condition 1 is true, execute this block of code. What if this condition is false? Go and evaluate the second condition. Then if that condition executes to be true, then produce or execute this block of code here. What if condition 1 and condition 2 are false? Go and produce out the third desired results that are in the else statement. But you can see in this, we have the if and then we end with the else, meaning that we have to start with the if, then the final statement here should be the else, then block of code here. In our last condition, in our last statement block of code, we have no condition to evaluate. We are just printing out the desired results. We can check at our example here. We have defined our variable and assigned our variable to 16. Then if people, the number of people are less than 20, then console log the less than 20 people turned out, maybe in that particular meeting or in that particular event. Else if the number of people is above 30, then you have to console log the desired result that the turnout was too high. What if the number of people who attended were above 30, and then what if does not evaluate to this condition, first condition and then the second condition, then go and produce the desired results, that is the else block, and then say people turned out in a good number depending on the condition that you have specified. That's it for the conditional statement. Let's meet in the next one.